Thank you, Madam Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. In 2011, I went to a routine doctor's appointment and the unexpected happened. The doctor was doing his full body check, like we do at the airport when you're in trouble and carrying something you shouldn't be. And he asked me, "What is this bump that I feel right here?" I looked at him and said, "I don't know, you're the medical doctor. My anatomy isn't that great, isn't it my hip?" He says, "No, Hannah, your hip bone is back here." After a series of rushed CAT scans and blood work and biopsies, I was diagnosed with cancer, and they had found a softball-sized tumor on my left femoral artery. At that moment, I honestly thought my life was over. But little did I know that I was about to embark on a journey that would make me better in several different ways. Tonight, I'll spare you all the emotional details, and instead I want to share with you what I learned from living through cancer and how it taught me to be better. The first lesson I learned from living through cancer is that fear is an illusion. Before cancer, I was afraid of a lot of things. I couldn't ride roller coasters with my eyes open because that scared me so much. I was scared to move to new places, start new jobs, and making new friends. Starting over is hard, and it's difficult, and it's scary. I was even afraid of public speaking. But after being diagnosed with cancer and going through all the treatments and everything, I realized that fear is just an illusion. We create this image in our mind of something that we're afraid of, when in reality it's not as painful or as scary as we think it is. Having faced the ultimate fear of not knowing the status of my health, or if I would have another Christmas, have another Thanksgiving, have more time with my friends and family, I can look back and see that the things I was afraid of before I had cancer were all illusions. The second lesson that I learned involves friends. Do you all remember that phrase people say, "Well, we'll be friends to the end"? That took on a whole new meaning for me. I consider myself to be a very social butterfly. If you look at my Facebook page, I have 1,000 friends, friends I actually know, friends of friends, acquaintances, people I met at conferences. And I really thought that my close friends would be there for me when I was going through this. As it turned out, some people who I thought would be there for me weren't really there for me. They didn't really even acknowledge that I was sick, and even to this day they refer to that time I was sick. They just weren't there for me. But there were some people who I didn't expect to be there for me, who were there for me. They sat with me in my hospital room. They snuck food in from Wendy's. It's a really good idea when you're on morphine. They called my hospital room to see how I was doing, and I didn't even know how they got that number because my parents didn't have that number, but they found that number and they called me to see how I was doing. They answered the phone when I was going through chemo, knowing that all I wanted to do was cry and cry and cry. It's true that during the worst times of your life, you will discover who really cares. And although my friendship circle may have closed or may have decreased in size, the quality has increased. The third thing I learned about life from having cancer is to appreciate everything. Everyone is trying to accomplish something big in their lives. But what we don't realize is that life is made up of little things that we should appreciate. After having cancer, I learned to appreciate the things that make up my life. For example, learning to appreciate the feeling I have after a long, hard run, whether it's feeling achy or sore. I'm just happy I'm feeling it because I remember all those times that I was sitting or laying in my hospital bed, not being able to move at all, or not being able to be physically active at all. I appreciate being full after a big, huge meal, because I remember during chemo when my taste buds were actually very inactive, and the foods I loved pizza, I loved cookies. That food tasted like mud and dirt to me, and I wasn't able to enjoy it. And I enjoy just being with my friends and family whenever I can, because what I learned when I was diagnosed with cancer is that or not promise a tomorrow. And my biggest fear was I wouldn't have another Thanksgiving or another Christmas or any of these other small moments with the people that made up my life. So today, I'm happy to say I am 2 years in remission and cancer-free so far. I have a pending CAT scan in August, but everyone seems to be optimistic about that, so I feel great. I've never really been a big believer in fate. Too many bad things happen to too many good people for me to accept that there's a larger plan for the greater good. But that being said, I have to admit that the events that led me to my diagnosis all felt very fated. For example, what if I hadn't kept that doctor's appointment that morning? It was 8 a.m. appointment and I was too busy being a grad student trying to get all the work done that I could. I really had thought about canceling that appointment. Or what would happen if the doctor who treated me didn't find that bump? Or what happens if he didn't know my oncologist back in my hometown in Texas to refer me to? I often tell people that since that date, September 2011, when I was first diagnosed, I've lived 3 different lives. And despite everything I went through during my time during cancer, it taught me to be better. A better friend, a better daughter, a better sister, a better member of my community, and a better person. Thank you.
We have the minutes on the clock.